say so. I'm just here.
How many are we supposed to have?
3.
Oh, Angela's here, she's a sub,
There you
right?
go.
Perfect.
Okay.
Works for me.
Alright, gotcha.
You couldn't learn that quick enough.
We got,
Oh,
Well, there's 7 members of the board, we only need 3.
there's 5 chairs up here.
we got,
Don't be
Well,
scared.
all right.
That's all right.
We got them all. We're
You
prepared.
can stand.
We're prepared. Yeah, I don't want chairs on the back. They don't
oh,
show.
well, we couldn't.
I don't want chairs
There you
against
go.
the back wall is what I'm saying.
Hey.
Don't touch the paint.
Jeffrey, come sit right up here so you can get used to it.
No, hang on for that.
Don't get you.
It's not the paint, it's the mouths. The what? It's the mouths. If you sit back there, you have to be quiet.
Let's see you
Don't sit over the board. Quit fucking yelling at me. You don't like come here, I didn't run your fucking mouth to me. Shut up. Every time I'm here, you run your mouth to me.
Okay, that's enough.
Shut the hell up.
You
Jeff,
have
that's
your
enough.
all meeting.
Oh, I'm the only one?
No, but that's why I don't put chairs back there.
Oh, well, guess what? Let's do it now.
Alright, it's enough. I'd like a motion to open the meeting. Okay. Alright, we got a quorum. Approval of minutes. The minutes are in front of you.
The one upstairs, is that one
That's
not
the
right?
last month. What?
The one upstairs? Because I looked at it and I was like, what?
Well, go ahead, what's that? Have you got some?
Try to go.
That's the, did you get the minutes right here?
Yeah.
What was you,
Yeah.
what were you thinking about that was different?
Well, the one upstairs, I'm like, why is it that I still need so many more hours?
Oh, I didn't put the hours in until recently.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay, that
So,
was like a couple weeks.
I just turned them all in, I think, what, middle of last week, something like that?
Yeah, there is a copy in everyone's packet of
Yeah,
the
right
hours,
right
so
there's the hours.
double check it and make sure that
Okay.
everything's there.
Yeah, what I was doing was I was waiting for the last water test, but I knew if I did the last water test, this meeting, we wouldn't be able to get a notice out before the last water test. So I figured I'd turn them all in and then we do the last water test and I'll turn that in.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I did it that way. What do you think, Timmy? All set?
Yeah.
Motion to approve the minutes for last month? Okay, I second it. The next water test, October 3rd. We're gonna leave early in the morning, at 7 in Sabino. Bring a jacket, probably gonna be kinda chilly. So, you're gonna get another 5 hours, there you go. And we have visitors here today. I'm gonna, instead of keeping on going, I'm gonna have her do her presentation. So, I forgot her name.
Jessica.
Jessica.
So-
Jessica is gonna do a presentation for the, the P90 water quality testing they've done around the community and for the watershed, so.
Sure,
Go ahead.
thanks, everybody. I'm Jessica Joyce. I live in Freeport. I have a small business where I work in all kinds of fisheries throughout New England, but I spent a lot of time working in the shellfish fishery over the last 10 years, starting in Cumberland's commission a while back. One of the things that I do, I convene along with Amanda Matt, Marissa McMahon, and Emily Farr, the Casco Bay Regional Shellfish Working Group, which has meetings and provides resources for all the towns in Casco Bay. And this was an idea that came up, actually one of our first meetings back in 2019. And we were able to work with a GIS, which is just Geographic Information System. It's a fancy word for just online maps. And we worked with a GIS firm to put together what was called the Community Intertidal Data Portal. So I just wanted the opportunity to show you all. It was designed to help shellfish committees and coastal water committees and municipal committees have information from all over, state websites and whatnot, but not require that towns have an expensive GIS license, which they can cost like $1,000 a year for some of these licenses, so we just wanted to make the information more accessible. In talking to Warren, I understand that water quality is not an issue in West Bath like it is in a lot of the other towns in Casco Bay. So I won't spend too much time on that one, but we also have, 6 data products, and the light, Carly and Meg.
Can we turn off like
Yeah,
1/2 or something?
that would be great.
That's
Yeah, it's still not working, hopefully it'll work. So we have a working waterfront story map, which I can show looking at sea level rise, the water quality data dashboard, and then shellfish conservation and management. And then for a few towns, we've actually been working on mapping septics, systems that are at risk of failure to help towns that are having those issues closing down flats. So I'm just going to go through a few of these and I'll answer any questions. I think the first one was the reason why we started this in the first place, is that one of the harvesters in Scarborough just said, I want to know what the other towns are doing for conservation and who to reach out to in case we need to. And hopefully it's sometimes slow. I'm on my phone hotspot. But so this shows all the towns, and I'm just going to turn on some of the layers here. So this has all the shellfish growing areas, and I'll just scroll in a little bit if there's a particular area you want me to show. But if you click on any town, just anywhere in the town, it pops up with who the chair is, the warden, which I need to update, how to contact them. The most recent, oh gosh, you guys can't see what I'm seeing, I'm sorry about that. In my computer, it's a lot darker. I showed you the most recent landings. Yeah, so you can't see that, but there we go. That's what I'm looking at. When I highlight it, it shows up. And how many licenses are in that town. And then it tells you what kind of conservation they do. And this is all data from the annual report that the committee submits. So conservation, closure, surveys, seeding. And then for every town, it has the last 5 years worth of landings data from DMR. And if you click on or just like hover over, it'll show you how many pounds. So I'll bring West Bath up so you can see that. But this is one of them. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. So there we go. So this is West Bath, and I think I need to update your warden information too. And then your landings data, so you had a little bit of a decrease. Oh, sorry, that's 2017, so we're going from oldest to more recent, but they've been going down.
They've been going down quite a bit.
And that's just soft shell. So, but if you want to click on annual reports, and I'm sorry, I don't know why the contrast is off here, but the annual report, you can click on it and it'll bring you to the file of your most recent annual report. And you can find that for any town.
So anybody can go on that website?
Yeah. Yep, it's all just like public information from the annual reports. And the only other thing I want to show you, if you're interested in seeing like what other towns are doing what activities, there's this filter tool. So right now, if you just want to see towns that are doing seeding, then you would just filter that. And I know that you can't see it that well with the projector, but if you look at my computer, you can see it kind of highlights the areas that do that. So you toggle those on and off. So that's one of them, and that's really just to find out any town. We have pretty much from Pittsburgh down to Scarborough. You can check out that information. So that's one. Any questions before I move to the water quality?
No, not really. We've got most of our area open. The only area that we don't have open is the narrows between the Red Can over in New Meadows and near the Kings Point, but I don't know if that'll ever open, so.
Yeah, so this, while I get it pulled up, I clicked on,
No, I do actually. So is this part of the DMR website?
Nope. It's totally separate from DMR. We do use their data in this one, in the shellfish growing areas, and there is a lot of state data that we use. But this is actually hosted the Greater Portland Council of Governments, so GPCOG, and I think yours is Mid-Coast Council of Governments in Brunswick. So the regional planning organization, so they host this. We got a grant from the state to do part of this, and they were our fiscal host for this. And I wish the
So that's what we
display-
look up as a community intertype
Yeah, and
data
the link,
portal.
yeah, and the link is right there.
Oh, it's in here, okay.
So you can just, the neat thing about this is the DMR shows you the most current P90 scores. We show you 5 years of P90s, all the overboard discharges, the drainage basins, so you know if you're having, non-point pollution, you know kind of the area that you need to look at. And we also have some other water quality. Let me see if that's not gonna work. So I know the contrast is not great here. But this is, for example, if you zoom in, and maybe I'll just try to go right here, and that looks horrible up there. It looks much better on the computer. But this is an overboard discharge. So you can click on that and get information, and this is again from the state of like who actually, this is the drainage, but it tells you about the OBDs, and if you scroll in, it'll tell you the actual information on that permit. And then you can either, and I'm just gonna show you what I'm seeing too. So along the bottom, you can see the 5 years, the most recent P90s from 2018 to 2022. And these are all, this is the approved line. So you are right that in this area too. And if you scroll out, it increases and shows you all the points. And if you just wanted to look at one water quality point, you click on it and it brings up that data specifically, the scores. So it's kind of neat if you do have a closed area and you really want to try to find out, is it potentially, from runoff or an OBD or something like that. This is a tool that we built to help towns get more information.
Yeah, the DMR's helped us out a lot with that in the past. We found out an area get closed and we try to find out where, why and how, and do extra testing, because I can do extra testing in order to get ready to open, accelerated testing,
Yeah, we did that in Cumberland too, to open Broad Cove. So that's that. I'll just show you one more quick one and then I'm going to answer any questions too. I'm moving into the clock. So the last one I'll show you, this is what, it's called a story map, and it's, hopefully it'll load okay. Has maps within it, and also just gives some information. We're finding that many towns, and is anyone here also on the Coastal Waters Committee, or do you all have a harbor front or similar committee for like wharves and piers and town ramps?
Not really. Obviously we have a harbor master, and that, it's a small town. Each community, each area kind of takes care of itself.
Okay.
So.
Okay. So this one was meant for just helping towns who are looking at either fixing their
Look at that.
that's Tony's. Either like looking at wharfing out permits or looking at their town landings information that they can consider. So it kind of just goes through all the different uses. And I'm sure this is going to be really slow. But one of the things they did is put in all the docks, and so we've added a layer of all the docks, whether they're commercial, private, or public, all the aquaculture leases. And this map is really busy, but that is because there is a lot going on in the intertidal in Casco Bay, as you all know.
Do you go left, right, to West Bath, and then you go
Sure.
over? It's curious, that's all.
Yeah. And
Because there is a lot of docks going on right now.
yeah, Yep. And this one doesn't have the dock layer, but I am gonna scroll down and show you that one. And actually, I'm gonna, instead of, well, so that we have
So
separate.
which ones are the leases, the stars?
Yeah, so to get the legend, you just pop
Okay.
on that little, I'll show you again, that, like this icon here. And, let me try to highlight this again, because it doesn't, it's so light. So the active leases are the dark green. If it's a renewal or a standard application pending, it's yellow. And then the stars are leases under review. So, you know, you've heard about the backlog at DMR, and the stars are a good indication of that. So let me see if I can scroll up to where you're interested in. And again, sorry about the contrast here. I don't know if that's not, let me see if I can make it darker on my screen. No, it doesn't make a difference. So yeah, you can see, and then you can click on anything and get information about it. So, you know, you can tell the lease, what they have there, the information, the leaseholder. So this is Dana Morse. It's nice oyster. I know you can't really see that, but and then you can click on any point and get information.
Yeah, I see the biggest leases, Henderson's right
Over
Yeah.
here,
there. Maybe you got it right there.
How many acres does he have now?
or this is Winter Point. It says 13.48.
Wow.
So that is kind of, and then also has the LPA, so the licensed, in addition to the standard leases are the smaller dots. So that's one of them. There's a habitat specific one, and then I'm just scrolling. This is the OBDs, which are a big issue in a lot of the state. And here, I'll just scroll. It looks like there's just a little cluster of 3 right here. And if you scroll in enough, it separates them out, and then you can click on them.
I think we got rid of them.
So, yeah, it gives you the name, the water body, and what they're permitted for. And I know you can't see that, but it just says, you know, residential up to 600 gallons per day, active. So you can.
Oh, I thought we got rid of the old boy.
Up to.
Yeah.
Hopefully not that.
I don't know if they're being used. I know the buildings with new houses there.
Yeah. So this is the infrastructure one that shows both critical infrastructure as well as some of the boat launches. And then we also put here these undeveloped blocks, just because a lot of towns are trying to find out where they can possibly gain access to the flats. So you can look at those too. So I'm just going to show you one last map. Well, this is the dock layer and navigation. And let me try to scroll out to go where you're interested in again. Thanks.
There you go. Good deal.
I'm looking at
You got it
both
right
screens.
there.
So these are navigation buoys, and then you can also see all these little, well, you can hardly see them on my computer, they look a lot different, but all those little dots are all docks. And when you look at, these are all the layers, and then the docks, you can see the commercial ones are little circle dots, the private are square, and public has this little like boat sign. And then the other part to this is that with, we have the highest annual tide, or the half in blue, and then the predictions from the state of sea level rise are the red line, that, I don't know why it's not red on this projector. So you can see this is it's the 2050 predicted sea level rise that all those docks, and if you have any public landings, are predicted to be underwater by then. So
By
it's
when?
for planning purposes. So the state, I believe, is predicting 3.9 feet of like the median or the middle range of sea level rise, so that means it could be more or less, by 20, I think it's 2100 actually. And about half that. Yeah, this is all about planning, right? Planning for the future. All right, I keep telling you it's the last one. So this is what I really wanted to show you. And you can get to this by just clicking on top. So this is a map that you can actually control what you want to see. And you can just add the layers here, if this populates. There we go. So you can say, okay, I want to see if there's, I want to see the leases and conservation closures, and I want to see, eelgrass. But I don't need to see shellfish habitats. That's really old data that the state has. And then you can zoom in, you can say if you want to see a cove or you just want to go to West Bath, you can just type it in. It'll bring you there, and then you can see like there's some eelgrass up here in the river. And that's that's 2022 data. Here's those OBDs again down here, and you can turn on and off any layers, and then the leases that are down here. And this again is what it actually looks like online, not that white faded. So anyway, I won't go into any other ones. I just wanted to show you those key ones. The little handout here just gives you a little preview, and there is a user guide. It does take a little bit of getting used to. There's a user guide on the About page, and I'll just show you how to get there, and then I'll be done. So this is the About page, and the user guide is, I'm forgetting here, sorry. Here it is. This is the user guide. It's on the home page. And then if you were so inclined to download data, you could do that all here too. So that's my spiel. Thank you for
Well, thank you.
letting me come
If we
talk
have,
to you all.
if we have a water quality problem, we'll know where to go.
Yeah, or just citing and thinking about really.
We've been pretty much on it in the last 10 years. We're trying to keep areas open. We had a problem back, 15, 20 years ago, so at this point, we got most of our area open, so
That's great.
we try to keep up with it.
Yeah, there's only two little small spots that are closed.
Right.
Freeport just got another big closure
Yeah.
in Recompense, for a conditional area closure, so it's gonna get dark in here.
You guys have, does that program give you like updated high tide marks and like dead low water marks on specific coves?
That's a good question. So we will have low tide data soon. It's, I'm not a data person, I'm the project manager, but it's called LiDAR is what they use to kind of take pictures, and I think it's even a drone or some kind of aerial photography that they use. And they just flew the green LiDAR, which is the water or ground penetrating. So we will have that soon, and as soon as it's available, we're gonna add it here.
Well, that would help with the raking and all that, we get our new dead water, because all our maps are like from the 30s.
Yeah, they're not correct.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but
I
did
can-
you say that, you couldn't see it on this screen, but you said on your screen,
Thank you.
could see where it was a little bit red?
Yes,
Low water mark
yeah,
was?
so that's, the hat is there right now, so we do have the highest annual tide, and then the red line is where it's predicted to be in
Yeah.
And I can't remember the
I
exact.
couldn't see it.
I know that this made the color contrast.
Probably.
Yeah. But it is helpful to look at.
I'm looking around.
70-something years.
And
I like to see it, but I'm not gonna be.
Yeah, and half of that in 2050. I guess the estimate.
We're the people who plan for that. So it doesn't take your grandchildren by surprise.
Yeah, I guess, right?
It's gonna affect your children.
You
Maybe
can
your
access
children's
it on
children.
your phone too. It does work on a mobile phone, it's just a lot smaller, as you can imagine. Anyone else?
I'll take them.
Marilyn, are you running for selectman again?
This year.
Oh, yeah, I'm not this year. I can email.
Oh, I thought he was this year.
No, Karen,
It's
Karen
also
said
in
no.
November.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
alright, I'm just gonna get.
What you want?
She's running again?
What you wanna vote for?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, we'll move on. License, it says license, review license hours and conservation activities. The license hours obviously is ongoing. I don't know how many people need hours. We've got a list of what the hours have been accumulated already, so everybody can look at that. And we need hours stated. That is updated. Yep. So, depending on how many hours you need, you're gonna come to meetings. I don't know, we might do one more conservation program to set I really don't wanna run one, but I've been doing enough. But we might run another, like, a cleanup or something, late in fall. Other than that, come to the meetings, because I didn't see a lot of people that need a lot of hours, so come to the meetings last Wednesday every month, and it should be over 2 hours. That's the way I look at it. If anybody has any questions, you give me a call.
Warren, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you would allow points to attend the regional meetings, but a lot of the other towns do. We have one coming up on November 29th at the Brunswick Library from 1 to 3.
Okay.
And if you just Google the Casco Bay Regional Shellfish
You
Working
say
Group,
November
they'll come
29th?
up. November 29th, yeah. Low tide's early that morning, so we did 1 to 3. So
At
there'll be
3 o'clock?
1 to 3.
1 to 3.
Yeah. And we have a sign-in sheet, and then I'll forward it to your warden or whoever keeps track of points after the meeting. So, but it's up to you. Most towns allow points, but it's a.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you. All right, we have nobody here. First of all, is anybody got any other business they want to discuss? No? The DMR report, I'm not sure what that's all about, but,
Yeah, they were insistent that they would be at this meeting to talk.
they always are, and they don't show up.
They never
So,
show up.
rumor mill was they're wanting us to close Cohoggen and all this stuff, and we run our own ordinance. Just because Brunswick decides to close their flats for Cohoggen in the wintertime does not mean West Bend has to. And we have no reason to. So, so that's, unless I get any other notice, that's.
The only reason why Brunswick does is because a lot of them don't like to dig in the wintertime.
Right.
And they don't want anybody.
And I've actually found,
That's all that.
I've actually found that areas that I turned in real cold days for Cohoggen actually turned out better the next year. Because we rolled the seed underneath and it didn't freeze on top. But we're not gonna close everything, so. And,
No, it seems to be working just fine. What we'll do, maybe they ought to copy us.
exactly. Obviously the warden's not here tonight. I have mentioned a few, I put a bug in their ear about several areas that have been poached. They haven't gotten back to me. I don't know if you've heard anything, but I have
They
said
are getting
something.
ready to take the boat out, so they'll be patrolling by water. So,
Yeah, well, these areas could be actually
Been
patrolled
saying that
anyway.
all summer.
Yeah.
But I,
It's
yeah,
a little
wait
late
till
in the
the,
season.
wait till the end of the
Get out
year
there.
to take the boat out, right? Yeah, but I have mentioned it to them about areas that have been poached, constantly, so hopefully they'll do something about it, we'll see. Other than that, there's not much else going on. Any public comments? Anything anybody wants to talk about? We have a meeting there last Wednesday every month, so you always get your hour in. And the next meeting date is October 25th. And that's it. I vote we adjourn the meeting.
Me, I second.
Hey, that's something to say. What do you, got something to do there, Eli?
I know.
Must be